Hi everybody, thanks for joining us for Northern Ag TV. Well, we're coming off possibly the best week ever in the cattle market. I mean, can you think of a better time to sell calves on the video than when the feeder board is reaching all-time highs 5 days in a row? That's what happened in last week's Week in the Rockies sale for Superior Livestock. I caught up with Tim Larson from Sydney Livestock Market Center, who was down there representing calves from eastern Montana. And I asked him, is it fair to say this is as good as it's ever been?
I would absolutely say it's fair to say that. There's a lot of people talking records being broken, and I think this market has just caught steam all week, just every day. It just seems like we're just kind of adding $5 to $10 every day that we've been here.
I asked him what trends he's noticed, and he mentioned the outstanding demand for those light calves.
You know, the light calf deal has just been stellar. It's hard to believe, like in Wyoming, a lean set of calves weighed 450 and bring 516, $2,325 a head. You take that set of calves like that, it's just incredible that the interest on a light calf. I'd say a 400 to 500 pound calf is a really, really hot spot. A lot of 550 to 6 weight calves, sure, on top of $4. We've had some 5.5 weight calves bring 410, 415. So it's just been a lot of activity.
How about the program calves? How are they doing? Are they still bringing a premium?
A lot of these program calves, you could sure add $5 to $10 real easy to them, maybe 10 to 15 in some cases. As usual, a 2, 3, 4 load deal off one ranch with those program calves. They always warrant a little more money, and it's kind of nice for these feeders to be able to wean a pen full of cattle from one ranch. And so they've sure been selling, better than the rest of them. But yes, the program calves are darn sure showing a lot of interest.
The big question is, are we holding back heifers and growing the herd? And Tim said they did notice less heifers on the sale.
Definitely less heifers, and I will tell you one thing, we had a couple sets of heifers on the sale, and if he put on there no replacements kept, I can't even tell you how many phone calls that we had on them. Lots of people interested in purchasing them heifers, and it didn't seem to matter if they weighed 475 or 550. There's just a lot of interest in the light heifer all the way up to that midweight heifer on something that had the resemblance of a replacement.
Tim added that a lot of calves have been pulled forward, with guys selling earlier than they normally would to take advantage of the prices.
I think the last 2 or 3 days, a lot of these calves that are in western Wyoming and even in Utah and stuff that are typically be on the Sheridan sale, I think the whole list of them were here selling. So definitely seeing a lot of calves pull forward. Heck, even on a lot of our calves, there's probably 10 to 15 lots of these calves that we typically see in Sheridan.
Lastly, I asked him for his advice for producers who still have calves to sell.
I think this thing will stay good, but I do believe in this kind of market, why not? Why not get after it and try to get the calves on paper? We all know that anything can happen, and someday it probably will happen, and hopefully not, but boy, what a market to sell in.
We'll be back with a quick look at the futures market after this.
From the beginning, we've worked closely with farmers. BNSF's ties to the agricultural community go back 175 years. Together, we've innovated to make the U.S. agriculture supply chain one of the most efficient and productive in the world. Our strong relationship powers BNSF still today and helps us move the nation like no one else can. At BNSF, we move the nation for you.
Talking with someone that you know is stressed out, those are difficult things to approach, but if you're good friends with those people, reach out and say, I'm here to talk to you. We can find somewhere to get some assistance. It's hard to get involved, but at the same time, you want to just say, hey, there is help available.
For more tips in dealing with stress in agriculture or for free counseling for egg producers, visit beyondtheweather.com.
What more can a guy say about this cattle market? All-time highs in both live and feeder cattle. On Friday, they were $2 to $4 higher. August feeders up to $3.25, live cattle at $2.22. Not just long-term fundamental support. We heard the announcement of a 50% tariff on Brazilian products. Of course, they're the largest exporter of beef to the U.S. And the closure of the border to Mexican cattle is also supporting the market. About the only bearish thing right now is boxed beef. That has moved lower, but sure hasn't deterred the cash-fed cattle market. We were $4 to $6 higher on live sales last week from $228 to $240, 10 better on the dress deals back to $380. 2,000 head of sheep at the Newell sheep yards, with heavy lambs selling higher while the rest were steady. 60 and 70 pounders $222 to $234, 80 and 90 pound lambs $214 to $230, over 100 pounds $212 to $219. And another bearish week in the grain complex. Wheat was down 13 to 32 cents for the week. Friday's crop reports from USDA didn't offer many surprises. USDA raised its all wheat production estimate slightly, but that was offset by increased exports. So ending wheat stocks in the U.S. came down. The biggest surprise came in world wheat stocks that are falling on reduced production and higher consumption. However, the market still tumbled lower, so hopefully we'll find a turn in prices soon, especially with harvest right around the corner. Thanks for joining us for today's report. I'm Coulter Brown, Northern Ag Network.